Oh my gosh, World War III is starting. What do you do with your hard-earned retirement savings? Guys, I want to give you 4 asset classes that you should consider investing in if we go to war. In light of all the crazy news that we've heard recently with China and with Russia, it's not out of the question to start wondering, what if we were on the brink of World War III? And the next question becomes, well, what does it mean for you? What does it mean for me practically? And what does it mean for us with our finances? Well, if we were to go into war, there are 4 key areas that you may want to consider investing in. The first place to invest is real estate. Real estate always maintains its value or very close to it. Right now in our country, we have a massive influx of immigration. We are not building enough houses to maintain the amount of houses needed for everybody to have a place to live. And so therefore, real estate is always in high demand. Even in war, there's going to be a need for people to live and sleep somewhere. So real estate is a great investment. There's a reason why they call it real estate, because it's tangible, it's accessible, it's something that you can look at.
Would you look at that?
You can manage. It's a really good asset class that grows at 4, 5, 6% on average each and every year. As long as we don't lose the war and get wiped off the face of the planet, real estate is a great investment. The second investment to consider would be bonds. You could buy bonds in the country that you believe is going to win the war. Here's a problem. If you invest in bonds from the country who loses the war, they may not be paying those bonds back. And so therefore, it is slightly risky. Historically speaking, bonds have been a great way for countries to raise money and for them to be able to pay for the war, and then ultimately, provided they win, they can pay back those bonds over time and you get a return for them. So bonds can be a great asset class if we go to war. The third one, which is one of my favorites, is insurance companies. Insurance companies historically do probably the best out of the stock market, banks, bonds. They're gonna do the best because they're required by state and federal law to keep a surplus of cash on hand or the equivalent thereof. In other words, if they owed everybody $1 billion, all of their liabilities are worth $1 billion, they're required to keep $1.09 billion in cash or the equivalent thereof. So 109%. So if they paid everyone out tomorrow because they had to for whatever reason, they got 90 million in cash left over if they were only $1 billion company. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but during the Great Depression, a lot of people invested their money in different insurance companies, and they didn't lose a penny during that extremely tumultuous time in our economy. Babe Ruth was actually one of those people. When all of the New York Yankees were standing in soup and bread lines, Babe Ruth's financial advisor had told him, invest your money in insurance companies because we think there's going to be an economic collapse. He obeyed and did that, and he didn't lose a penny. In fact, he was completely fine. He was making the equivalent of $250,000 per year during the Great Depression. It's also important to know that life and annuity companies, as long as they're A-rated, there's not been one life or annuity company that has failed since 1900. That's World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, Vietnam, the Korean War. Not one A-rated annuity or life company has failed since 1900 because they're required to keep excess cash in reserves. The fourth thing that you're going to want to invest in if we go into World War III is preparation items. Now, you don't need to go over the top and become one of those crazy weird preppers, right? But there is some utility in having some water filtration systems, maybe a solar panel, maybe a generator, maybe some seeds if you have some land to grow food. Something as simple as salt, having excess salt. You're gonna wanna season your food. What if you run out of salt and the grocery stores are empty? Some people think that it's all about investing in gold and silver and putting all of your money in some tangible asset. I agree that 10,000 or 20,000 is totally fine, but you're not gonna be trading all of your $1 million in savings for $1 million in gold because it can be stolen. You can't eat gold. It's gonna be tough for you to use that. And so I would recommend probably 10 to 20 grand if you're gonna do that, but invest in bullets, invest in food that's gonna last 20 or 30 years. Sanitary items, greens, do you have enough vitamins? Do you have enough bandages if somebody gets hurt? These are the type of investments that you're gonna wanna have in a World War III scenario. Now, listen, I hope none of this stuff happens, okay? But if it does, you're gonna wish that you had these different items, because the ones who have these items and are prepared are gonna be the ones who historically do the best and fare better than everyone else who is ill prepared. Guys, I hope World War III doesn't happen, but I want you to be prepared. That's why you're watching this channel. Check out our other video that we're gonna be doing for investing mistakes during a world war. You're not gonna wanna miss it. In fact, you can watch it right here. We'll see you on that video.